Hello, and welcome back. Unless you're new, well then, hi. Today on the channel, we're going to be covering Spawn, the animated series, released on May 16th, 1997. So for those of you who are watching this video and have absolutely no idea who I'm talking about, Spawn is a comic book character created by Todd McFarlane in 1992. The character's real name is Al Simmons, a former U.S. Marine and CIA detective who was betrayed and killed by his own agency. After making a deal with a demon named Malbogia, Simmons is reborn as a so-called Hellspawn, a powerful and supernatural being with a variety of otherworldly abilities. When spawned, Simmons is a formidable warrior who possesses superhuman strength, speed, and agility, amongst other powers like shape-shifting, teleportation, and the ability to generate various forms of energy such as necroplastic blasts and steel chains. Although Spawn's signature weapon is his living symbiotic cape that can transform into various weapons and items. Despite his immense power, Spawn is haunted by his past and struggles to find a place in this world to call his own. He is often caught in the midst of a battle between heaven and hell and must navigate a complex web of alliances and betrayals in order to protect the innocent and seek vengeance on the ones who have wronged him in the past. Over the many years since 1992, Spawn has become one of the most popular and enduring characters in the modern comic world. He has been adapted into numerous other media, including a feature film and various video games, and of course a successful animated series, which is what we'll be covering today. So I'll be covering this series in a couple of different sections just to tone in on why it was so different and game-changing for cartoons. So the first section that I'll be discussing is its themes. Spawn was notable for its dark and mature themes, which set apart from many other cartoons around this time. Some of the most prominent graphic themes portrayed in this series include violence. The series features intense and graphic depictions of violence, including bloody, gory fights, gun battles, and supernatural killings. Many of the characters, including Spawn himself, are shown to engage in brutal and deadly combat. Horror is another big element to the show. Its supernatural elements and demonic imagery create a pervasive sense of horror and dread. The series frequently features horrid and disturbing creatures which would easily scare any child under the age of 11. Sexuality and, well, pretty much sexual activity in general is spread widely throughout this show. The series portrays sexuality in a frank and explicit way, with several characters engaging in sexual activity and nudity shown on screen. This includes Spawn's romantic relationships with characters like Wanda and Cagliostro. Now, on a less graphic note, we're going to talk about a different type of theme than the other ones that I just covered. This theme is betrayal. The show explores themes of betrayal and revenge, with many characters either betraying or being betrayed by others. This includes Al Simmons, also known as Spawn, being betrayed by his own agency, as well as the various power struggles between demonic and angelic factions. Overall, Spawn was an unapologetic adult animated series, with its content and themes pushing the boundaries for what was acceptable in animated programming at the time. Spawn the animated series is now known for its unique and well-written storylines that are driven by character development and plot twists. The show's creators used a serialized format that allowed them to explore complex themes and develop their characters over time, and through various different episodes throughout the show. So for those of you who aren't familiar with what a serialized format is, allow me to explain. So before I explain what a serialized format is, I just wanted to say it's been like a week since I've worked on this video, and yes, I finally got a microphone. Happy days. Anyway, on with it, let's talk. So, a serialized format is when, let's say you have an episode 5, for example, of a random show. Let's say I made up a show called The Scatty Brothers, I don't know, and episode 5 of that show has a plot within it, and then the next episode, instead of making it a two-parter, we just follow on with that plot from the previous episode, and then the next episode we follow on with that plot. So it's just a continuation of a story throughout a season, or a bunch of episodes, or a bunch of seasons. Are we all great and happy that we finally got that out of the way? I just wanted to say, this microphone's so cool and I will never get over it. I can either turn my voice down, or I can turn my voice all the way up, which I'm not going to because it hurts ears. As you could probably already tell, I can't tell, I haven't listened to it. So we're going to bring it down to about here. And I think this is a good, maybe a little bit up. Right about here. I think this is like a good little place for us to talk. I just went so off script there. That is my bad. Let's get back onto the show, my bad. One of the driving forces behind the show's plot was the protagonist, Spawn himself, who struggled with his own morality and the consequences of his actions, which made for compelling storytelling. Another element that drove the show's storyline, in my opinion, was the overarching conflict between heaven and hell. The show explored the idea of war between these two faces, and how it would affect the human world. It created a rich and complex world full of interesting characters and plot lines. I mean, Spawn the animated series was known for its use of plot twists and surprises. The show's creators were not afraid to take risks and subvert audiences' expectations. This made for a show that was always engaging and kept viewers on the edge of their seats. So one of the biggest differences that I can see between Spawn and any other cartoon program at the time was the comic book's involvement. Spawn already had critically acclaimed characters by the late 90s, such as, well, obviously Spawn, but the Clown, Billy Kincaid, Malebolgia, and Wanda, who already were developed characters in the comics, and characters that people could connect with. The first season, in my opinion, is such a classic because it runs off of the first couple of issues of comics that were made at the time. They all had characters that we all knew, the story that we knew. It was just put into animation, and it made it so sick. It's one of like my favorite animations just because of how like amazing it is and groundbreaking it was. Like no other animation was like cussing and doing all the stuff that Spawn was doing at the time. It was really groundbreaking for cartoons in general, but like also just other media out form. If you look at like even what was just on TV, unless you had it like on a DVD or like what, like HBO really changed the game, and Spawn is what really had an impact on people because it was a comic that everybody already knew. Everybody knew who Spawn was. It wasn't a secret, so like it just kind of fit. It's just such a good show. And I really do recommend it. Sorry for the uploads, not being as consistent as I want them to be, but I'm really trying my best here. This Spawn video is literally just a video that I was like, okay, I've been watching the animated series, let's get it out here. Yeah, I'm really just freestyling the end of this. I didn't have anything written down in my notes or anything, so like I'm just kind of going off right now. But yeah, got a mic. Hopefully it sounds better. If it doesn't, well, sorry. But yeah, go check out Spawn the animated series. Go check out my Lil Dicky video, which is almost at 2,000 views. That's kind of crazy. Subscribe, please, because I really won't be able to do this if I'm stuck at 40 subscribers. That's a no. So, yeah. The next video that comes up will probably be either cartoon related or another TV show. Like, I really do want to cover the Trailer Park Boys. That's one of my favorite shows of all times. It's so funny. But I also might do like a ranking of episodes because I've always wanted to do those. They just take so much time. But I'm working on like a Mac Miller video, like a biography of Mac Miller. So that will probably be the next thing that comes out. Anyway, peace.